Hello, everyone, and welcome to the live stream. I'm Vimoh. This is live. Sorry that the music cut out a little early. I don't know what happened there. Uh, Another track was supposed to start playing, but it didn't. I think I turned off the looping thing, and therefore it didn't. It's okay. You're not here for the music. Chandrayaan has landed on the side of the moon that others have not landed before. This is a great achievement. I would like to congratulate, in my own small capacity, everyone who was actually involved in the mission, like all the people at ISRO, all the scientists, all the researchers, etc., and all the people who supported them with their good wishes. And the space research industry, to use a loose term, is a very small one. It is spread across the world, and scientists across the world share data with each other in order to make these things possible. So even though Chandrayaan might be a triumph for ISRO and an Indian achievement on paper, it owes its success to almost every space mission that has ever launched successfully, or even space missions which have not launched and landed successfully. We ourselves have faced failures before. Other countries have faced failures before. Recently, Russia faced a failure. These are all these are all attempts at doing better. So on an occasion like this, we don't we should not be small minded. We should not treat it as if हाँ हाँ हमने वो उखाड़ लिया जो किसी ने नहीं उखाड़ा था. That's a very that betrays a lack of generosity of spirit. And I think if there is one thing we should take away from our condition, political condition, we should take away the fact that we need to be more generous with the world. So I'm very happy that Chandrayaan has landed. I'm happy for everyone. And yeah, that's what I wanted to start with. This is a live stream. It happens on Wednesdays and Saturdays at 8 p.m. Where on Wednesdays I take comments and I try my best to answer them. And on Saturdays I take callers and we talk to people. Today we will not be taking callers. Today is Wednesday, 23rd August 2023. Oh wow, 2323. Nice. Date 23, year 23. I don't think the month is 23. It can't be 23. Sad. So we'll be looking at comments in a while. Before I do, I'll just remind you that okay, wow, I've not changed the banner also. I will remind you that if you want to support the channel, you can click the join button below and become a member. Someone I think has already become a member. Thank you, Manmohan Singh. Thank you, Manmohan Singh, for becoming a member. Okay, thank you for becoming a member. I don't want to I'm pretty sure your actual name is Manmohan Singh. So sorry if you felt bad that I did a double take. Uh, you can also support the channel on Patreon at patreon.com/Vimoh. You can also support it by going to my website at www.vimoh.in and clicking the support button there. You can also support it very directly very directly through UPI by sending money through uh, Vimoh at UPI, VIMOH at the rate UPI. So thanks in advance for all of that. Manmohan Singh, one more time, thank you for becoming a member. Let me take a look at comments. Illuminati says C3 to the moon thanks to underpaid ISRO. Meanwhile, Modi ji takes full credit. Let's not spend time on that particular instance of showing off. Let's just focus on the achievement which belongs to everyone. I personally believe it belongs to all human beings. Krishnakant says Illuminati केवल सक्सेस का ही क्रेडिट लेते हैं ये महाशय. Krishnakant says hello Vimo, please don't call me sir Krishnakant, thank you. Please say something about बागेश्वर धाम वाला बाबा. उन्होंने लॉजिक की ऐसी तैसी कर रखी है. मेरे आसपास कई फॉलोअर्स हैं उनके, उनको लॉजिकल चीज़ें समझ ही नहीं आती. कल मुझे किसी ने कमेंट भेजा था. उसने मुझे बोला कि सनातन धर्म लाखों साल पुराना है. मैंने कहा लाखों साल पहले सनातन धर्म नहीं था, सनातन धर्म कुछ हजार साल पुराना है. इसका सबसे बड़ा सबूत यह है कि मोहनजोदड़ो, हड़प्पा, इंडस वैली सिविलाइजेशन में तुम्हारे धर्म का कोई निशान नहीं मिलता. ना संस्कृत मिलती है, ना मंदिर मिलते हैं, ना कुछ मिलता है. सो क्लियरली वॉट एवर योर रिलीजन इज हैज कम आफ्टर दैट. इट मे बी इवन समथिंग दैट was an offshoot from Indus Valley, although I cannot say that for sure. बिगड़ गया. मेरे को एक लिंक भेजा अबाउट फ्रॉम अ साइट कॉल्ड laughingcolors.com. उसमें कोई मूर्ति थी और उस पे लिखा था कि ये लाखों साल पुरानी है. और मैंने कहा दिस इज़ नॉट एन एक्चुअल आर्कियोलॉजिकल सोर्स और हिस्टोरिकल सोर्स और इवन अ साइंटिफिक सोर्स। उसमें क्या-क्या सब लिखा था कि सीआईए को ये बात कई सालों से पता थी, उसने जानबूझ के छुपा के रखी, हमारे धर्म को नीचा दिखाने के लिए वगैरह-वगैरह, फुल ऑन विक्टिमहुड। और जब मैंने सब पॉइंट आउट किया कि ये हिस्टोरिकल सोर्स नहीं है, आर्कियोलॉजिकल सोर्स नहीं है, बागेश्वर बाबा पे लौट आया, बोला कि अ, वही वही पुराने सड़े-गले आर्गुमेंट, तुम्हें कैसे पता कि तुम्हारे पिताजी थे? सो हिज़ आर्गुमेंट वाज़ दैट you should not ask for evidence, which is stupid because he was offering evidence, right? He was sending me a link from laughingcolors.com. But yeah, आई मेरा अप्रोच ये होता है कि जो भी आए मैं उससे ऐसे बात करने की कोशिश करता हूँ जैसे कि वो अक्लमंद है। उसके बाद अगर उन्होंने ये साबित कर दिया अपने तर्कों से या कुतर्कों से कि वो अक्लमंद नहीं है, तो उनके ऊपर टाइम वेस्ट करने की कोई ज़रूरत नहीं है। जस्ट ड्रॉप देम ऑफ, मूव ऑन टू समवन एल्स। दुनिया में बहुत लोग हैं, सब बेवकूफ़ नहीं होते। Maitreyi says, a lot of people ask, what is the harm in praying? It shows how humble you are, or other made up self righteous bullcrap. How to make this turn on people who use such arguments? What is the harm in praying? If they accept that they don't expect anything from praying, that it's just something they do to make themselves happy, there's nothing wrong with it. They can they can they can engage in imagination, right? They're basically telling themselves a story. The story they're telling themselves is that I'm not alone, I'm not helpless, there is someone out there who listen to me, right? And when someone is going through tough times, it's okay. But if they do expect praying to work, if they do think that the universe is such a thing where something like prayer can work, you can always ask them to prove it, right? And then they cannot say there is no proof, because if it works, it has to have evidence. So that is what you can ask them. Also, there is a lot of billionaires worship culture in 15 to 20 demographic. They see them as some super intelligent gods, and whatever they do is good for society. Like have some people defend Elon Musk. Elon Musk के ऊपर हमने पहले एपिसोड किए हुए हैं. उसकी मूर्खता का एक्स्ट्रा प्रमाण देने की कोई ज़रूरत नहीं है. There is a video by Adam Conover called "There are no good billionaires." Please watch it. उसमें बहुत सारे अच्छे तर्क दिए हुए हैं. Hmm. Sabari says Illuminati, yes. Coincidentally, CAG reports flagged several government projects. Its partial implementation. I don't know who will take credit for these. Maybe Nehru's mistake. Yeah. और क्या हो सकता है? नेहरू की तो मिस्टेक होती है हर चीज़ में. हमारी सरकार तो कुछ गलत कर ही नहीं सकती. Edna at St. Vincent Miller says, found your channel recently, loving the content, keep up the good work. Thank you, Edna, much appreciated. Paras Das says, Vimoh, how can I build a systematic structure of knowledge over any topic? I got curiosity to know about a lot of topics and things, but I always get stuck in adopting a specific method or procedure. Paras, I don't think I can help you there because I am chaotic. I don't have a systematic method of study. My method is जो भी दिखे पढ़ो और असिमिलेट करने की कोशिश करो। बाद में तुम्हारा दिमाग सबकॉन्शियसली ऑटोमेटिक लिंक बैठाने लगेगा। ओह शिट! ये जो देश के बारे में पढ़ रहा हूँ, इसी देश में मिलने वाली उस मिनरल के बारे में उस किताब में लिखा था। एंड देन इट काइंड ऑफ द स्ट्रक्चर फॉर्म्स इटसेल्फ। मेबी देयर आर पीपल हू एक्चुअली अपने लिए एक सिलेबस बनाते हैं, फिर फॉलो करते हैं। मैं वो नहीं हूँ। I didn't even do very well in school, despite loving to read this much. So हर किसी का अलग तरीका होता है। मेरा मेथड स्कूल या क्लासरूम वाला नहीं है, मेरा मेथड दूसरा है। सो आई वोंट बी एबल टू हेल्प यू बिल्ड अ सिस्टमैटिक स्ट्रक्चर ऑफ नॉलेज। ऑल आई कैन टेल यू इज़ दैट जो भी अच्छा लगे, पढ़ो, जितना याद रख सकते हो रखो, जो याद नहीं रहता उसके ऊपर ज़बरदस्ती करने की ज़रूरत नहीं है। बाकी काम अपने सबकॉन्शियस माइंड को करने दो। Secretly, Batman says, keep Modi aside. C3 is a great achievement for India and everyone should be proud of it. Yes, yes, that's true. And the people who should actually get credit for it are the people who actually did it. Pink Panther, hi, thank you for being a member. Shagnik Mondal says, hi, Vimoh, been watching your and Meg Nerd stream for the last 2 weeks and it's great. Love the content. Thank you, Shagnik. I had a roommate called Shagnik. Uh, well, I mean, he still exists, but he's not my roommate anymore. Um, Bobby says elections are approaching, violence is increasing. What are your thoughts? What do you think my thoughts are going to be about this? Violence is bad. Violence should not happen. And we should definitely not vote for political parties which encourage hatred and violence in society. That's my views. Sushant says quality stuck at 720p. Yeah, that's because I'm broadcasting at 720p. Live streams don't do very well at high resolutions. So this is the optimum. And also the scheme of StreamYard that I'm using does not allow me to broadcast at higher than at 1080 or something. So 720 is the max I can do. It's okay. This is conversation. It's not a movie where you need to see the hair inside my nose. Shreyan says they were showing Modi's smiling face right next to the screen. It was low key funny. Yeah. And also, when he waved the flag around, it was like a robot. I really thought it was a robot, like a rubber figure that had been programmed to do this. Um, Hemchandra says, why do you think some people are literally andhabhakt? When I talk to people in my circle about wrongs of the BJP, unscientific stuff they peddle, they agree with my opinion but still say it's all fine. Hatred. They have been fed hatred. They have been told ki the thing that matters most is that other people who they disagree with should feel bad. So even if मतलब अपनी नाक काट के पड़ोसी को उल्टी करवाना, तुम अपनी नाक काट लोगे, पड़ोसी देखेगा उसको विभत्स लगेगा, वो उल्टी करेगा। पड़ोसी को उल्टी करवाने के लिए अपनी नाक काट के उसके सामने नाचना, ये वो है। लोगों को कन्विंस कर दिया गया है कि उनके लिए सबसे ज़्यादा ज़रूरी है उन लोगों को नुकसान पहुँचाना जिनको हेट करना इनको सिखाया गया है। अगर वो करने के लिए इनको अपना खुद का नुकसान करना होगा तो वो भी कर लेंगे। इसे मूर्खता की पराकाष्ठा ही कहा जाएगा और कुछ नहीं कहा जा सकता। अपने पाँव पे कुल्हाड़ी मार के खुशियाँ मनाना, अपने घर में आग लगा के नाचना। Hmm. Addict listener says, what is the purpose of sending Chandrayaan and Moon, and what scientists are trying to discover how it can be beneficial for humankind? Uh, there are many answers to this. Some answers are known, some answers will be known. Usually, what happens is that half the time we send something out into space, we don't know exactly what good is going to happen as a result of it. So, those good effects become evident later in life. So, when we first sent out satellites surrounding, orbiting Earth, we sent out GSLVs, which were geostationary satellites, and they were beneficial despite the fact that many people were opposed to it. Some people said कि India is a small country, it's a poor country, it should not invest in a space program. But GSLV से बहुत फायदा हुआ. GSLV से we could scan our country from space, and we could scan the subcontinent from space, and we could make predictions about weather. स्टॉर्म आ रहे हैं, या मॉनसून कब आएगा वगैरह वगैरह. दिस हेल्प्ड farmers plan agriculture better. It helped evacuate coastal towns and villages in time so that fewer people would die, right? So that's a good thing. Geostationary satellites say we could also do geological surveys. We could say which elements will be found where and where mining can be done. Mining is a mixed bag. There is good stuff, there is bad stuff, but it did help the economy in many ways. So sometimes you send a satellite and you know what good it is going to do, and sometimes you don't know what good it is going to do. uh, India sent a satellite some years ago which discovered water on the moon, and now because of that, any country which is going to, any country which is going to send satellites to the moon, I mean, people to the moon, will know where to look for water, will know where they have a supply of water that they can use in their missions on the moon. So we should not refrain from exploring space just because we don't know what we will find, because every opportunity to expand our knowledge base is a good thing, and we should take it. If people did not venture out into the sea back when, we didn't even have modern ways of navigating, we used to navigate by starlight. If people did not venture out into the sea, we would not have discovered many things about the world. We would not have discovered lands which are not connected to us by land. So, yeah, scientific discovery is its own reward. And to whatever extent possible, we should engage in it. Mm. Shamek says, Vimoh, don't talk like an anti-national. This happened only because of Modi. Chand mein bhi Modi, Modi. Shreyan says, addict listeners to study the composition of the moon. C1 discovered water, moon's surface. Barnali says, good evening, Vimoh. Hi, Barnali. Stanley says, story-wise, what do you think are the best mythologies like Greek, Norse, Hindu? I think I am only mostly aware of Hindu mythology. There's also Greek mythology and Roman mythology and Norse mythology. Ireland has a lot of gods in their olden times. Even in fact, Irish mythology even has the same four age structure, the Chatur Yug system, like Hindu mythology does. Many people don't know this. So, yeah. Mm. Arjun Rajendran says, "Hi Vimoh, can we uncondition our minds? People like J. Krishnamurti claim that we can do that. What is your take on this?" I don't understand much of what J. Krishnamurti says because a lot of his work depends on, you know, thought is the enemy, and I cannot do that. So I try to stay away from J. Krishnamurti. I try to stay away from trying to explain J. Krishnamurti. As for unconditioning our minds, I don't know what exactly is meant by that. Unconditioning your mind from what? A toxic ideology? Sure. But from thought, I don't know how to do that. I know J. Krishnamurti says we can do that. I don't know how to do that. And I'm definitely not going to pretend that I understand it. Rajesh says, praying to God and puja helped Chandrayaan 3 land on moon. Please try to recognize their contribution. No, they didn't. Let me ask you this. You have a satellite that you're launching, and you have mathematical calculations, and you have puja. Which one which one can you avoid? Can you successfully launch a satellite without the mathematical calculations? I don't think you can. Can you successfully launch a satellite without the puja part? Yes, you can. Many countries have done so. So, which one is essential? The calculations. Which one is secondary? Which one is probably completely necessary, unnecessary? Puja part. It's not rocket science. I mean, wow, it's that phrase acquires a whole different meaning when you use it in the context of ISRO and Chandrayaan, but I hope you get my meaning. TTM, hi Vimo, hi TTM. Illuminati says it's not just about budget. I forgot to emphasize that even salaries are delayed for months. Yeah. Priyanshu says, Vimo, ISRO scientists also do pujas. Hence, I believe science and religion aren't separate. I don't agree with point of view that science is an isolated silo. I don't I don't even know what you mean by science as an isolated silo. In order to launch a satellite, what all things do you need to do? Make a list of them and then tell me in that priority list on what level is puja. You will probably put it at the bottom, right? I think it's not even necessary at the bottom. And science and religion are separate. I don't know what you mean by that. It can mean very many different things. I think science does have something to say about religion, and that is that religion is a psychological function. Human beings have evolved to have some kind of reliance on imaginary entities like gods, deities, and spirits, and that's the extent of it. People need to feel that they're not alone, so they pray to imaginary deities. ISRO scientists did the same. But it's not like if they had not done that, the rocket would not have worked. Secretly, Batman says, I had a question. If SC/ST were kept out of Varna system and mainly the Veda discriminates against the Shudras, and if those Shudras are the Jat, Yadav, and every other caste except Brahmins and Kshatriyas, why does these other people not see that? I don't know what you mean by that. Like, how are you keeping SC/ST out of the Varna system in this hypothetical scenario? I don't understand what the question is, honestly. Hemchandra says, it was nice to see Sudhir Tihadi being shown his place by Smriti Irani. No, don't feel too happy about one terrible person showing up another terrible person. It may be good entertainment, but don't take comfort in that because they will come back. They will get back together. And then we will be the sea. Arjun says, don't you think that our logic is limited terribly when trying to understand the universe and its laws? I understand, I accept that we don't understand the universe completely. And it may even be that the universe is not understandable to the fullest degree that we want to. But to whatever extent we have understood the universe till now, logic has worked. When the day comes that logic fails, as it seems to be when it comes to quantum mechanics, we will try to look for other ways of doing things. Or maybe our application of logic is see, logic, the application of logic depends on availability of data. If you don't have data available, what are you going to apply logic to? So just because we don't have information about something, we should not say logic has failed. Now, I'm not saying logic can't fail. Maybe it can fail. I don't know. But it works, right? If logic can help us launch an object from the surface of the earth and have it land on a distant body in space with the precision of a needle point, then surely it is working. I mean, if you are going to say that logic is limited, I would like to see an example of something that you see not uh, working with logic. गगन says, which is the best book that you have read till date? गगन, मैंने हज़ारों किताबें पढ़ी हैं. It is very difficult for me to choose a best book. I know this question. If I had read 5 books in my life, I could probably tell you which one I liked best. But with the number of books I've read, I cannot possibly tell you this. I have some books that I like, and you can find them at amazon.in/shop/vimoh, amazon.in/shop/vimoh. वहाँ पे बुक्स का एक लिस्ट है which I have made, and you can go through them. Uh, mm, mm, mm. Prakhar says, "Hey, Prakhar here from Instagram. Hi, Prakhar. Thank you for coming." Shreyan says, "Hit the like button, guys." Bernali says, "Why most Indian scientists are so much superstitious?" Okay, so StreamYard is doing that thing again where it has frozen, and I am going to have to read comments on the YouTube page. This is very problematic. I did not write to them last time thinking it was a fluke because I was using Twitch and YouTube at the same time. But yeah, this is not cool, guys. Okay, I guess I'll have to read comments on YouTube today. In fact, why don't I do this? Let me go into the admin studio and then check out the live interface there. I don't use it much, but I guess I'll have to today. StreamYard keeps freezing. It has frozen. I have no comments after 8:07, and it's 8:20 now. This is just weird. Wait, guys. Bear with me. A little technological issue. अरे ये क्या हो गया? YouTube Studio. Hmm. I hope my audio and video is working. Yep, appears to be working. Okay, let me look at chat here only. Okay. Oh yeah, live is working. चलो ठीक है, यूट्यूब पे करते हैं आज. Hmm. चिकुर सॉरी, ये जो भेज रहे हो ना, मैं इसको अभी स्क्रीन पे नहीं दिखा पाऊंगा क्योंकि मैं यूट्यूब का इस्तेमाल कर रहा हूँ. आई सपोज वी मे हैव टू रिटर्न टू यू नो व्हाट्स इट कॉल्ड, Stream Elements or Streamlabs. Let's see. Chikur Chuchom, thank you for the 100 rupees super chat. Congrats to all fellow Indians for Chandrayaan success. वो छोड़ो, पृथ्वी माता ने अपने चंदा भैया को आज चंद्रयान ही राखी बांधी है. ओके. Yeah. Jay, thank you. Number one, Yeda, Elon Musk. Rajiv Kumar says, do you think we as India can have enlightenment movement like the West did, focusing on incorporating more logic and reason into societal discourse, and how can such a movement be initialized? I do think it is possible. I do think it is possible for us to have such a movement. We already have strains of intellectual thought like the Dravidian politics or Dalit Bahujan Adivasi ka Navayan Buddhism, etc., which may become mainstream at some point. Right now, the mainstream is very North Indian, Hindi, Hindu, Hindustan, Jai Shri Ram politics, which is taking our intellectual standards down. मतलब हम लोग मूर्खतापूर्ण व्यवहार में एंगेज करके ये उम्मीद करते हैं कि लोग हमको साइंटिफिक समझें, जो कि इट डजंट मेक अस लुक गुड. But if we continue down this road, then uh, at some point of time, if this kind of politics is replaced by more enlightened or more secular politics, then definitely it's possible. I hope it happens. There is a super chat from Kirti Tiwari. Hi, Kirti. Great work, bro. Do you think pop psychology is made up knowledge among people who don't have real expertise in psychology? Uh, some pop psychology is just simplified psychology. It is done by qualified people to convey complex ideas in a simple manner. And some, of course, is what you said. It's complete garbage. जैसे वो रील पे स्क्रॉल करते करते एक वीडियो आता है कभी कभी, साइकोलॉजिकल फैक्ट, अगर लड़की अपने बालों से खेलती है तो देन शी लाइक्स यू. नहीं, ये सब साइकोलॉजी में नहीं आता. ये वेरी बेसिक लेवल नॉनसेंस कंटेंट स्ट्रेटजी के अंदर में आता है. इसको सीरियसली लेने की कोई ज़रूरत नहीं है. बट थैंक यू कीर्ति फॉर द 200 रुपीज़. Sarcastic skeptic says, I watched the amazing Chandrayaan mission, but then Sir Somnath came and said, Modi ji bless us. And the comments shouted Jai Shri Ram and Jai Mahakal shit pretty effing annoying. एक कान में डाल के दूसरे कान से निकाल दो. Some days it is okay to ignore these fools and it's okay to just focus on the good news. Sarcastic skeptic says, Vimo, how did you manage to not become an uncle? I'm not an uncle. Oh, you mean uncle? No, I don't know, man. Uh, I guess some years ago, thanks to Instagram, I got in contact to a lot of young thought, like thoughts from people who are at the receiving end of uh, the systems, receiving end of oppression from the systems that have created the inequality that we see all around us. And I became the thing that I'm accused of being frequently, quote unquote, woke or something. And that is how I evaded it. Supriya says, do you think that an atheist will ever be a successful politician in India? Yeah, there are plenty of successful politicians in India who are atheists, many of them in the South. We have talked about this before. Please see my conversation with Meghnad. I don't know which episode it was, but if you can scroll and find. TT of something says Modi was not even nervous. He was smiling. Yeah, he's slurring and dropping words a lot in his speeches, if you notice, when he speaks in parliament. Chit Chiranjit Ray says, did you just do a literal translation of Bengali proverb, "Bou ke mere jhi ke shekhano"? "Bou ke mere jhi ke shekhano." Was that literal? Does that mean cutting the nose or something? Because I got part of that phrase. No, I did not know this phrase. I did not translate it. Sarcastic skeptic says, what AI tools do you use for free? Do they work all fine? Mostly ChatGPT to generate titles and descriptions for videos, and sometimes an AI art tool to make a cover for a blog post or something, but that's about it. If you want to see the AI art I have composed, you can go to my Behance profile. The username is Vimoh only. Royal Dupare says, Modi blatantly lied about aims at Darbhanga BR. How does he get away with such blatant lies? Because his followers don't care. His followers are people who are such specimens that when someone takes money from their pocket, they instead of saying, "Arey pakda usko," they say, "Kya style se pocket mara hai." Mohammad Farah says, "Hi Vimo, what is the update on the Alala invasion? Justice for Hachacha." आ रहा है, वो लोग इन्वेट कर रहे हैं। बट वो मेरा वीडियो देख के कि उनका उनके जनरल्स ने मैसेज भेजा कि हमको अभी थोड़ा रिट्रीट करना पड़ेगा, इसीलिए अभी पूरी तरह से आए नहीं है। Taranga points out, Supriya, there are already 3 atheist CMs in the country. Does that qualify as successful politicians? Sumana says they found heavy water on moon that can be used for nuclear energy. Plus, eventually they want to set up launch station there with low gravity. It's easier to launch. Yes, the moon can be an amazing place to launch missions to Mars. मार्स जाने के लिए जो शिप पृथ्वी से निकलेगी उसको बहुत एनर्जी खर्च करनी पड़ेगी हमारे एटमॉस्फेयर से निकलने के लिए. But the moon does not have that problem. So if the moon's orbit and Mars's orbit can be calculated in a way that the bodies are there's a clear line of sight, to use a loose phrase, then the moon can be a better launch pad for missions to Mars than the Earth is. Siddharth says reservations provide social dignity to scheduled castes, scheduled tribes, and backward castes, but does this really improve their social status? Yeah. If social dignity से social status नहीं बढ़ेगा तो कैसे बढ़ेगा? If people get respect in society which they were not getting before they got reservation, then their social status naturally increases, right? Bernali sends 100 rupees, says, do you think that technology can become the biggest enemy of humanity or rather a best friend in future? It will do both. Humanity's biggest enemy and best friend is humanity itself. Technology is a tool. As long as technology is available to everyone for use without any barrier with respect to money, like the internet, right? We say everyone has the internet nowadays, but there are still plenty of people who don't have it. Technology is good when it is accessible to everyone. Technology is a tool in the hands of the oppressor when it is so costly that most people can't even afford it. Frenny, hey, Arjun says, what is your opinion on Jordan Peterson? Arjun, इसके बारे में बहुत बार बात कर चुका हूँ. I think the man has lost his mind and I think he needs help. That's my view on it. He's a person who's introducing a lot of toxic transphobic, and anti feminist ideas into the discourse, and he should not. Alpesh says, Shagnik, we should really stop doing pujas for space missions. Send this wrong message to country plagued with superstition. That's true. Uh, Arjun says, "What do you think why do you think people trust on Babas have increased over the years? Because Babas are more than anything else opportunistic criminals who cling on to powerful politicians in order to build their careers. Look at all our so-called sons right now. Which of them is not a businessman or a criminal or a hooligan or just outright convicted murderer? That's why." These guys use religion as a refuge to hide their crimes and to gain popularity. And religion proves to be a great refuge for them. Dr. Pretty, hi Vimo, dropping the comment to mark my attendance. ये class नहीं है Dr. Pretty, but thank you for coming. TTM says, hey, so in USA, the right wing is very anti-feminist, but in India, they talk a lot about women's empowerment. So how to interpret it, or how do I make people understand that they are not pro-feminist? Even in the USA, you will find conservative women's podcasts, which are very brazenly anti-feminist. And for like that is obviously in addition to the male podcasters who are anti-feminist. So it's not like patriarchy has not appropriated women into its fold. That happens there as well as here. Here it takes the form of Brahminical patriarchy. At least in India, it takes the form of Brahminical patriarchy. And there are even Muslims who say Islam is the most feminist religion of all. All of these are defenses against the very clear anti-woman bias in every religion. Franny says most mythologies share ideas and concepts. Indian and Greek zodiac signs are the same. Rajesh says I was being sarcastic, Vimo. Oh, okay. I know, Rajesh. I mean, I kind of looked at your display picture and it occurred to me that someone with this kind of a display picture probably does not mean what they have written. It's okay. Surya says not just the word logic, even words like anti-national socialist are misused. Anti-national though should not even be a word. Like why does it exist? It's very McCarthyian, right? Anti-American activities and all that. Mm. Okay, just a reminder to everyone, there are 120 people watching right now, roughly. Please click the like button so that more people get a notification that this live stream is going on. Joy Boy says, I bet C3 had Nimbu Mirch tied somewhere, thus the success. Nope, they won't. They can't afford to have even a little bit of extraneous weight on it. So there probably wasn't Nimbu Mirch. One second. Priyanshu says, but if the scientists need pujas to stay motivated, you can't conclude on their behalf that it is not necessary. So I told you, if someone is doing puja just for mental peace, I have no problem with it. But the scientists can do that in the privacy of their homes, right? The ISRO is a government organization. It is paid for by taxes that you pay and I pay. I don't want the money that I pay as taxes to go into puja part in a government institution that is not about puja part, right? So the whole right wing argument, "Well, I'm a taxpayer, I pay money. I also pay taxes. I don't want my money in this shit." MG says, Vimo, we would like to see you in the Seen and Unseen podcast with Amit Verma. Amit Verma's podcast features people who Amit Verma chooses. The day he chooses me, I will be there, I guess. Shagnek says, I am currently in 10th and I have seen. Arre, kahan gaya? Kumar Yashwant, thank you for becoming a member. Much appreciated, sir. Thank you. Um, Shagni says, I'm currently in 10th and have seen some peers, students who have gone sort of right wing Andhbhag zone. Why has this been happening? How can we restrict such things? And what do you think will happen to the बाकी का comment कहाँ है? Generation who from a such young age been polarized? I listen, it's obviously a terrible thing that young people are being brainwashed. But the thing about teenagers is that when they grow old, they very assiduously distance themselves from the things that they used to believe as young people. अगर टेक्स्ट बुक में किसी मंत्री की प्रशंसा डालने से you could make sure that people will love that mantri forever, then nobody would be going against Nehru right now, right? हम लोग, we grew up thinking of Nehru as a great man, but now a lot of people think that Nehru was a terrible person. So even if a certain kind of propaganda is being sold to young people as the absolute truth, it is possible that at a later point in their life they'll be like, "Yeah, क्या गधा था मैं यार, ये बकवास के ऊपर मैं विश्वास करता था." I'm sure there are plenty of young people who think like that also. Like you're an example, right? I'm sure there are people like you. And sure, it may look desperate right now, but things will get better. I believe they will get better. Arjun says, I believe that the conflict arises in our thoughts first and is manifested in our behaviors and actions. Whenever we try to control those thoughts, it becomes much stronger. Why is it so? So that may be a question for a neuroscientist. I don't know what conflict you are referring to. It arises in our thoughts first and manifests in our behaviors and actions. I think conflicts arising in our thoughts and manifesting as behaviors, maybe because we are tribal animals and because uh, throughout human history our social evolution has caused us to live with people who are like us and make up stories about people who are not with us. Ki, you and I, we are children of this tree god. Those people, they follow the wolf god and they're different from us. The tree god hates the wolf god hates the tree god. They fight, so we as their followers should also fight. So, our tribal evolutionary patterns have kind of given rise to a lot of behaviors which remain alive in modern society, despite the fact that they're not important or even useful now. Sumana says it's funny. I read in one of the news websites that how India invests science in schools early on. Their next sentence was how kids are praying in temples for Chandrayaan success. Sunshine says opinion on Osho. He was courageous. He criticized Hinduism in Hindu conference and called out it for its treatment of Dalit and women. Yeah, a lot of gurus do that. A lot of babas do that, but then they go right back to enjoying the benefits of the religion. I have a problem with the Baba template itself. I have a problem with the appearance of an old man with a white beard and robes, white or saffron or red or blue. I don't mind, really care, sitting on a stage giving people gyan. That appearance itself is enough to bamboozle a lot of people think that array spirituality spirituality. So sometimes the Baba doesn't even have to do much more than dress like a Baba. Mogambo says they did the same puja during Chandrayaan too. I guess God was sleeping. That's a good point. See, that's a good point. Shagnik says generation who from okay, already read that. Jay, thank you for being a member. Says NASA never did, but is still number one space organization in the world. Here, bugs are giving all the credit to Puja. I'm sure NASA scientists also have superstitions. I'm sure जब कोई रॉकेट लॉन्च हो रहा होता है तो और उनमें से कोई अगर गॉड को मानता है तो मन ही मन एक प्रेयर तो कर डालता होगा. The point is they are not the important thing is that they not spend money on it or send a message out to public that this is why that is happening. I doubt any NASA scientist will tell you that our rocket succeeded because of God. But there will be people who, when they reach, the moon, will say in a public message, "Thanks, thank God we made it," and that may have more to do with their, their upbringing than anything else. Yusuf Islam says, "Do you think that at any point of time people would start realizing that the PM using occupying screen on ISRO live stream of Chandrayaan landing was not an ideal approach and PR he could have been avoided?" I think plenty of people realize it right now, but they are helpless to do anything because these guys don't listen to anyone. They think that the government of India, all its institutions are their bapati, so they treat it as such. Dr. Pretty, thank you for becoming a member. Appreciate it. Thank you for joining. I'll just remind people that if you want to support the show, you can do so by clicking the join button below and becoming a member, like many people have, or send a super chat in the live chat. Truth Seeker, thank you for being a member. Truth Seeker says, I saw some comments and right wing has already started praising Modi and BJP for Chandrayaan mission, starting from Atalji. So yeah, we are going to hear a lot about this in the coming days. हाँ, पर चंद्रयान मिशन इसरो का प्रोजेक्ट है और इसरो तो बीजेपी ने शुरू नहीं की थी. इसरो तो काफी पुराना है. इसरो was started in when in Nehruvian times. द प्रॉब्लम द राइट विंगर्स का सबसे बड़ा प्रॉब्लम है कि वो लाख कोशिशें कर ले, सच झूठ नहीं बन जाएगा। दैट इज़ देयर बिगेस्ट प्रॉब्लम। Aurelius Mendes says, "Hey Vimo, BJP and Modi will milk Chandrayaan success for their 2024 campaign as if scientist Modi is the technical hero behind it." Yeah, but I don't think any like ISRO has been making scientific advances throughout modern India's history, right? I don't think any government in our entire modern history has won votes because of the success of ISRO. ISRO was doing well before Modi. ISRO will continue to do well after Modi. India was doing well before BJP. India will continue to do well after BJP. That has nothing to do with this political party. Nai Ranjit says, speaking of Baba, Sri Ravi Shankar just appeared on a TV channel to blab about Chandrayaan. His hair and beard have fused. Looks quite a sight. Hair and beard have fused. How? I mean, the same color? As in they're both black or both white? Sarcastic skeptic says thoughts on Oh My God one movie and how you would have acted if you were Kanji Lal towards the end of the movie. Also, have you seen Vinland Saga anime? It's amazingly philosophical. I have not seen Vinland Saga and अगर मैं OMG 1 का प्रोटैगनिस्ट होता तो मैं मूर्ति बेचने वाला धंधा ही नहीं कर रहा होता. Tiktaalik says Sadhguru was saying 15,000 years ago, sadhus discovered evolution by meditation. 15,000 years ago, that even before the birth of civilization, humans were hunter gatherers during that time. What a liar. Yeah, I have made a video about this. On my main channel, just search for Sadhguru. It's in Hindi, I think. Manob says HEC engineers who built Chandrayaan 3 launchpad did not get paid for 17 months. Report. Okay. Chess meme God says there are many Tunni YouTubers are there on YouTube. Uh, There are many Tunni YouTubers there on YouTube. Okay. Illuminati. Okay, यहाँ पे थोड़ा टेक्स्ट अप डाउन हो रहा है. I don't know what is happening here. अच्छा इमोजी को टेक्स्ट में बदल दिया. Sorry. Illuminati says I need a pretty doctor. Shamik says, do you think Rahul Gandhi will be Congress's PM candidate next election or will it be Kharge? Who knows? It will be their decision. I'm okay with either choice. Diamond Amar says there are big differences between colonizers and Nazi fascists. Fascists are brutal, non-negotiable, unlike colonizers. It is much different to defeat fascists, especially with mass cult support. So there were colonizers who were fascists. General Dyer is an example. Every British governor who sent freedom fighters to jail and forced them to work in inhuman conditions was the same. Do not think of these things as different. Do not think of them as different. Winston Churchill caused the Bengal famine and many thousands died because of it. Was that not fascist? Sunil says, I hope Rahul Gandhi will become next PM of India. Okay. Nai Ranjit says, they're both white, looks like a hoodie. Okay. Ansh says, what about Acharya Prashant and Buddha? Acharya Prashant was just a Baba. The Buddha was someone who lived a long time ago, and I really don't concern myself with gurus who have left the earth. Acharya Prashant is a living person, and he does spread quite a lot of problematic views. If you have a doubt about this, please watch Human with Science ka lamba lamba live stream about Acharya Prashant. They take callers and they talk to Acharya Prashant supporters also, and they talk about a lot of problematic aspects of his teachings. Karthik says, I think the ISRO director thanked the Almighty instead of God. Is it any way of saying that there is no God but to please the common people? It may simply be a thing like, अभी मेरे पाँव पे चोट लगी तो मैं, oh God, हो सकता है मुँह से निकल जाए. It Talk of God has become part of common conversation. But I do think that someone in a position like the ISRO chairman's position should be more careful. Bobby says, what about your thoughts on recent unacademy teacher removed from remarks over educated politicians? Bobby, we talked about it in the last episode. Thanks. Vincent says, what is your opinion on religions like Hinduism, Sikhism, Jainism, and Buddhism being titled Sanatan by right wingers of today? I have a debate tomorrow with a saffron neck and I need a counter argument for this. Ask them, ask them the reason they label all these religions as Sanatan and ask them if they would be okay if a Buddhist came tomorrow and said Hinduism is a part of Buddhism, because there is some evidence to support that theory, right? If you I talked some time ago about there being no mention of Hinduism in Indus Valley civilization, so clearly it is not as old as that. So if Buddhists don't want to be called Hindu, if Sikhs don't want to be called Hindu, if No religion wants to be called Hindu and instead wants to be called what it is. W- Is it not arrogant to say, "नहीं ये सारा ये सब कुछ हमारा है, वो जो पीछे दिख रहा है वो भी हमारा है"? It's a bit arrogant. It does not look nice, and in fact, it may even smell of imperialism. Jay says, "Thank you for being a member." Jay says, "It felt kind of insulting when Modi was giving speech after successful moon landing, but yeah, he's a PM now, so that's about it. Hopefully, a deserving person will be there in this place next time." Yeah, I mean, something as magnificent as ISRO landing on the moon happens, no matter who's the prime minister, they will take some credit for it. I mean, this guy overdoes it, but it's still, he's the prime minister and he will take some credit for it. I don't want to spoil my celebration of Chandrayaan by focusing on this guy today, and we'll talk about it some other time. Surya says, "How do we respond to claims being made about people, Buddha, Ramakrishna, that say they allegedly saw God? It's possible to see things that are not real. And Buddha never said he saw God, by the way. Buddha never said he saw God. Buddha was all about elevating yourself to be free from the clutches of existence, whatever that means." Moshwashan says, Surya, respond, pics or it didn't happen. Aiko says, hmm, yeah. Aiko says, can Congress really change anything if they come to power? They are in government in Rajasthan, but still minorities face problems. Yeah, so it's a lesser evil, right? That's the way I'm looking at it. I mean, sure, uh, at the very least, the subversion of constitutional institutions, democratic institutions, and constitutional bodies will probably not happen at the hands of Congress. उस छोटा एडवांटेज के लिए आई एम विलिंग टू सपोर्ट दैम. Kumar says, one of my old colleagues used to work for ISRO. He is now a Dutch citizen. We have a significant brain drain problem in India. Alpesh says, Jainism and Buddhism rejected Vedas, which is considered supreme knowledge in Hinduism. Hinduism has scriptures which has written demeaning things about these religions. Rishabh says, hi Vimoh, what are your views on CRT, critical race theory? I think it's a good idea to teach critical race theory, just as it's an American thing, but it's a very good thing. I wish we had something similar, critical caste theory in India, where casteism, its origins, its excesses are made part of school curriculums. Savarna parents will never let it happen, but it's a good idea. It should be taught. Without education like that, like I would be really interested. I get so many people who complain about how रिजर्वेशन से कुछ नहीं होगा, लोगों को अवेयर कराने की जरूरत है. If you ask any of them, so you would be okay with something like critical race theory, something analogous to critical race theory, like a critical caste theory, being taught in India, about writings by Dalit writers and Bahujan writers being made part of school curriculums. You'll be okay with that? I would really be surprised if any of them said yes. All this nonsense about नहीं reservation की जगह awareness spread करनी चाहिए. It's just to get rid of reservation. They're not even serious about that. I'd be really surprised if someone agreed to that. ESO says, will Modi be judged for Gujarat massacre of 2002? Unfortunately, उसके ऊपर केस हो चुका है. सुप्रीम कोर्ट ने उसको क्लीन चिट तो नहीं दिया, बट सुप्रीम कोर्ट डिड से देयर इज नो एविडेंस. So I don't know what will come of it. I guess we will see. You and I are both here. We will both see. Uh, Aditya says, Vimoh, I understand that Chandrayaan is an amazing scientific achievement. How do we understand this in the larger context of scientific progress? I don't know what you mean by that. How do we understand this in the larger context of scientific progress? I mentioned a little bit of it when the live stream started. Please go watch that bit. Shamik says Buddha was more of an anti Hindu. He was fed up of Brahminical society. Yes. Ansh says there are thousands of meditations. One can't do them all. How would one negate the claim that mental suffering, dukh, can end through them? How would one negate it? I don't think it is the job of anyone who does not believe in it to negate it. It is the job of someone who says that it does end dukh to demonstrate it. Burden of proof किसके ऊपर है उसके बारे में हमेशा क्लियर रहो. Jay says Buddha is a title. It is given to someone who has attained Dhamma, mastered the Vipassana meditation technique. TTO, TTOG FTA says Shamak, Hinduism didn't even exist during the time of the Buddha. Yeah, but Brahmins did. I keep saying this. What we know as Hinduism today is a recent phenomenon. But the thing that existed before it, Brahmanism, the caste system, was definitely there during Buddha's time. Truth Seeker says, I think when people question Congress, I feel if it wasn't Congress, will a chaiwala even become a CM or a PM? Because if we follow trend, we have already started talking 1000 years and 2047 now. I don't know what you mean. Um, if I feel if it wasn't Congress, will a chaiwala even become? Yeah. So I get that. This is a talking point that Kanhaiya Kumar frequently mentions. Ki the reason Narendra Modi could become prime minister was because we had a culture where someone from that station in life could aspire to a high office. Hmm. Yash says the real problem of humanity is the following: we have Paleolithic emotions, medieval institutions, and godlike technology. E.O. Wilson, quite apt. Diet Mountain Dew says in Rajasthan, it is not INC that is inciting violence against minorities. Multiple times the culprits have been booked, which is how it should be. Compare that to how BJP states behave. Yeah. So I would not be so quick to say that the Congress is always against bad politics or criminals, because Kamal Nath has been hobnobbing with a Baba, that Bageshwar Dham Baba, the guy who wants a Hindu Rashtra or something. So, uh, political pressures aside, I do think that uh, when I see a crime happen in the news, the least I expect is that action be taken against the person who did the crime. But for the last few years, we have had this new normal where a crime happens against someone and then the person who suffered the crime is punished and the person who committed the crime is rewarded. This is like some bizarro world we live in right now. It's upside down, it's inside out. And this is what we are actually against right now. So it's not a simple choice between Congress is also as bad as the BJP. That's a very thoughtless position. There is nuance there. Sure, the Congress has many problems. The Congress often does the same things as the BJP, but it's definitely not the BJP. Like there is still a world of a difference. कृष्णकांत says कबीर के बारे में आपके क्या विचार हैं? कुछ लोग उनके कहे को अलग ही धर्म बनाकर प्रचार कर रहे हैं, जैसे रामपाल. I think Kabir was a teacher. What Rampal does is Rampal's business. Kabir was a teacher who taught people to live with each other in harmony. Saw a tweet that there is no reservation on ISRO. Is that true? Where did you see this? And exactly how did they find out that there is no reservation? That of all the people who work at ISRO, none of the people have gotten there through reservation. ये मैं कई बार देखता हूँ, ये अप्रकाश लोगों का एक नॉर्मल टॉकिंग पॉइंट है विच इज कंप्लीटली बेसलेस. अ ब्रिज फेल डाउन समवेयर एंड समवन सेज रिजर्वेशन की वजह से हुआ है ये. तुम्हें कैसे पता कि उस ब्रिज को बनाने वाले सारे इंजीनियर रिजर्वेशन की वजह से आए थे? It's almost like fantasies happening in their head. Like they instantly are able to tell कि एक प्रोजेक्ट के ऊपर काम करने वाले हर आदमी का कास्ट क्या था और उसको रिजर्वेशन मिला था या नहीं. इट्स बकवास. आस्क देम टू प्रूव इट. हमारा एजुकेशन सिस्टम काफ़ी ख़राब है. इसके अंदर से काफ़ी कचरा निकलता है. उनमें से कई लोग बिना रिजर्वेशन के कचरा होते हैं. देयर इज़ नथिंग. दिस हैज़ नथिंग टू डू विद रिजर्वेशन. आस्क देम टू प्रूव इट. केएल चिप्स सेज कहाँ गया? हुँ? यार ये अपने आप स्क्रॉल हो जाता है. हाँ, केएल चिप says, I can already see Rajiv Malhotra like dummies crying about critical caste theory, saying that they are trying to equate American racism and caste discrimination on purpose if we start teaching it. Yeah, I think a great. So we have this thing that happens, right? Upper caste people say that reservation should be removed and awareness should be spread. तो बेटा तुम्हारे जो भाई भतीजे अमेरिका में हैं, वो एंटी कास्ट एक्टिविज्म को हिंदूफोबिया क्यों बोलते हैं? That is spreading awareness. When universities understand that caste is a discriminatory category and they make rules to prevent people from suffering casteism, why are your bhais and bhatijas in America calling that Hindu phobia? And why are you creating Instagram posts about how that is Hindu phobia? चार मैंने पिछले एक महीने में शायद 14-15 नमूने देखे हैं इंस्टाग्राम पे जो हैंडल्स बना के बैठे हैं जिनका एकमात्र गोल है हिंदू फोबिया से लड़ना. ये सब एनआरआई के बच्चे हैं. और ये वही लोग हैं जो कहते हैं नहीं रिजर्वेशन इज अ बैड थिंग. वी शुड इंस्टेड कास्ट इज अ बैड थिंग बट रिजर्वेशन इज आल्सो इक्वली बैड. वी शुड स्प्रेड अवेयरनेस. अबे जब अवेयरनेस स्प्रेड करने जाते हैं तो तुम्हारे चाचा लोग उसको हिंदू फोबिया क्यों बोलते हैं फिर? या एग्जैक्टली. गुड पॉइंट. Sunil says if someone says there is no benefit of reservation, just give them the example of Santhal tribe. Yeah. Vishkanya says, I don't know about schools, but my English course in college had writings from Dalit and tribal community, poetry and prose. I do wish it was part of school curriculum. Yeah, same here. Mohammed says, what exactly is critical race theory? Why does the Fox News and its audience hate it so much? They hate it because they have absolutely no idea what it is. Critical race theory is a way for modern America to come to terms with its history and to understand to what extent white supremacism has shaped what is America today. But white Americans, many conservative white Americans don't want it taught because they think that uh, some of them have even brought forth ideas like, you know what, racism was not actually that bad. They learned some skills. So it's, what's it called? Revisionist history or historical negationism, I think is the technical term, like Holocaust denial. Vincent Hartright says, what are your opinions on far left, communists, Maoists, etc.? Not really very clear on the details of them, so I will refrain from answering on this. I think the far right is a bigger problem right now than the far left. Stanley says, and people in the comment section say stuff like, "It's just a movie. Why are you taking it so seriously?" And he replies, "Movies सिर्फ entertainment के लिए नहीं होती. Movies society को influence करती हैं." Wait, what is this about? Mm. What do you think about movies and their impact on society? Like, there's this right winger movie reviewer, and he always shits on shows that try to promote inclusivity, like showing homosexual people. Yeah, करेंगे यार. The internet, when it started, someone said the ODS have their podium. Fortunately, the rest of us also have our podium. Don't worry. Diamond says, yes, Dyer was fascist, brutal, but Nazi type fascists are always mostly like Dyer, direct and brutal. Colonials are outsiders, but Nazi type fascism can erupt from inside natives, theocratic type. I think you're making too fine a distinction. I think it is safe to say that the British rule was comparable to the Nazis, even if you don't want to call it Nazi. Dr. Pretty says, Vimo, can we have a video where you suggest books for beginners who are interested in atheism? Dr. Pretty, I have a page at Amazon. It's at amazon.in/shop/Vimo. Amazon.in/shop/Vimoh. If you go there, you'll find a bunch of book recommendations. I have already made a book recommendation video on this channel. It was episode 54. You can go watch it. I am planning to do another one sometime in the future, near future, hopefully. When I do, you'll find out more. Right. So we are at the 1 hour mark. I don't think I want to stretch this out much further. My throat is kind of coffee today. Coffee as in COUGHY. So I'll just read three more comments. Vikas says, Vimo Bhaiya, India's one leg is on moon and other leg is on fire of hate. So I'm not feeling so proud. What is your feelings? Vikas, लाइफ में बुरी चीज़ें हैं, लाइफ में अच्छी चीज़ें हैं. जिन दिनों थोड़ा मौका मिलता है कुछ अच्छा फ़ील करने का, कर लो. क्या पता फिर कब मौका मिले. Chandrayaan successfully landing is a good thing for all Indians, for all humans in fact. So take some pride in it, be a little happy while you can. कल सुबह फिर से वही घटिया न्यूज़ देखनी पड़ेगी. So don't be so hard on yourself that when an opportunity presents itself to feel good about something, you don't. It's okay. Be a little gentle on yourself. Rahul Dikshit, thank you for the 400 rupees super chat. Rahul says, "Hi Vimo, I have a bad feeling that even though I would want BJP to lose, but somehow if and when Congress and allies come to power, they would be no better than BJP has shown them the way to misuse power, and they would never let that go." Rahul, इसका एक simple जवाब है. I never expect a utopia. I will never expect that एक पार्टी ऐसी होनी चाहिए जो आएगी और फिर मुझे कुछ नहीं करना पड़ेगा. I will sit quietly at home and make cartoons in the back of my notebook while they take care of all the things, and everything will be hunky dory from now on. The very nature of democracy is that when your government is doing something terrible, you speak up about it. I'm speaking up now against the BJP. If the Congress comes or some other party comes and they do something problematic, I'll speak up against that also. I was also criticizing the Congress when the BJP was not in power, when Manmohan Singh was in power. That is our job as citizens. So if your hope is that the Congress will not be better, sure, that's good. That, like, no, it's not good. If you think that the Congress may have problems, that's good. You should expect a government should to have problems so that you remain aware of your duty. which is to question the government, ask questions, demand accountability, and call for good policies. That's always going to be the case, no matter who comes to power. So don't let Congress will be equally bad. So we should not even expect the BJP to go. Don't do that. The BJP should definitely go, and whoever should come will be held accountable. The BJP का बड़ा problem है is that they don't allow people to hold them accountable. They don't give a flying duck about what people think. It's all nautanki, all PR, no achievement anywhere. That is the problem. And the last comment will be from hmm, Shamik Sanyal says, I remember reading stories written by Ambedkar as a kid in our school textbook. Thankfully, they're still there, at least here in Bengal. Not sure about other states. Okay, that's good. That's good. Gunduchi is also here. Gunduchi, thank you for being a member. British rule is very comparable to Nazi Germany. Yeah, it is. You have to understand that our perception of Nazi Germany comes from uh, content created by Europeans or Americans. They're the ones who won the World War. So in their worldview, the Nazis will be, they were really horrible. We are comparably better. But from our point of view, everyone from beyond the Mediterranean has been the same. So you can totally compare Churchill with Hitler as far as the Indian perspective is concerned. Right. So that brings us to the end of this episode. Thank you everyone for joining. Let me just take a look at super chats if I missed anything. Nope. Everyone has been read. Uh, yeah. So thank you everyone for joining today's live stream. I hope everyone has liked the stream. And if you have not, let me just remind you that you can support the channel by becoming a member by clicking the join button below, or you can send a super chat, or sorry, you can send a super thanks by clicking the super thanks button below, or you can support the channel by going to www.vimoh.in and clicking the support button there and making a one-time contribution there, or you can become a patron at patreon.com/vimoh, or you can send money directly at Vimoh at UPI, VIMOH at the rate UPI. I thank everyone for joining, and the next time I see you will be Saturday at 8 p.m. when I'll be taking callers. So thank you in advance for all that. And with that, I will take your leave. Please have a great rest of the week. And, I'll see you on Saturday. Bye bye.